Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be continuing our journey with Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, up to episode 8 now. Very excited to be here, albeit just for the one episode here today. This kind of one episode thing should just be a one-off unless I'm doing something on the weekend later on. I'm not going to, qualify forever that it's always going to be 2 episodes, but again, this one's got a good reason. I just did 5 straight episodes of The Eminence in Shadow, so it's a lot of... It's a lot of anime all at once, I guess, even though, again, I used to do way more. But I wasn't recording myself, it was fine. So unfortunately, again, Gundam is the one that draws the short straw here today, but we'll catch up in time, I'm sure of it, for sure. Either way, I have the YouTube comments up there ready to go. 3 comments here, one rather large one from Kasogtha that we'll try to, go through piecemeal, I guess. But starting here today, Bamps, of course. Elan, more like... Elan. I'm not going to say L4, that's just an odd thing to say. There's got to be a better way to designate that with just kind of like writing it down's easy enough because you can see the 4, but like Elan number 4, I guess? I don't know, that's still a bit of a mouthful. Either way, clarified that it was the 4th person to be Elan, as I kind of speculated last week. And yeah, the idea of enhanced people is a thing that comes up in Gundam quite often. I think this comes up a little bit more as we continue our little kind of comment section here, so we'll see. Ragashingo next up, just a few scattered comments. Despite, and again using that designation for Elan number 4, despite seemingly pushing past his limits, holding up pretty well, permit score 3, permit score 4, it's pretty good stuff. We must remember that Elnora's husband was under heavy duress at 3 and died shortly after number 4. So whatever they're doing with new Elan number 4, it's working pretty good, we think, right? So again, once we kind of combine with Peel in a way, right? Because that's kind of what's going on next. We'll kind of see what they've got cooking, at least a little bit, right? Again, they're not useless, I guess. They do have some knowledge there that's pretty useful, I guess. This will just be a good one to commit to memory. The 3 main players in Benerit Group are Jaturk Heavy Machinery, Peel Technologies, and Grassley Defense Systems, Guel, Elan, and Shadiq, respectively, of course. So again, when we're talking about Grassley later on, because it seems like Shadiq's going to be a pretty big thing, again, already having ties into other characters such as Miorine and Nika, so should be in the show more, you would imagine. Grassley's how we're going to refer to their company. 3% of 240 billion, that's an investment of, I'm going to say, 7.2 billion on the fly. Again, that's like, we've got like space millionaires now. They've got like so much money, it's ridiculous. So I'm not even like, the numbers are kind of whatever. It could be trillions for all I care. I don't even... It probably is trillions if you consider the whole group, right? Because this is only one side thing for Miorine, 240 billion. Yeah, we're well into the trillions for sure. So yeah, when Delling kind of throws around money like that, I just think it kind of makes sense. The other one here was that there was a small correction. Soletta, when she was kind of in Ariel, was talking to Ariel, not Elan. So again, when Peel is kind of talking and cornering her and saying, hey, you spoke, you had a connection with your Gundam. I thought she had a connection with Elan. That's not really what's happening. It's more she had a special connection with her specific Gundam that talks to Gund's technology, that talks to you got caught basically. You're illegal, of course. And last comment here today from Kasogtha. And again, considering the length, I'm just going to break down it piecemeal and talk to what kind of inspires thoughts in me, I guess. Yeah, I kind of skimmed back through that first episode, but I couldn't see Belle there at all, so like, I don't know if that's like an off-screen thing or whatever, but again, now that we're combining with Peel, even though she seems in the bad graces a little bit with her bosses, that may be a thing that continues. I should also mention as well, people keep bringing up the Tempest as an idea. I have no knowledge of the play. I know Prospera is meant to be an equivalent to, I believe, Prospero, but I've got no frame of reference. It's one of the Shakespeares that I'm not particularly familiar with. If you're doing some King Lear stuff, I'm all over it. If you're doing some King Henry IV Part 1, I'm all over it. But yeah, not quite that kind of stuff, you know? Yeah, this is probably something I should have gone into a little bit more as well. We look at the disparity of life between the people at the school through their surrounds when we attend each of their respective houses, right? We see Jaturk House kind of when Guel's getting kicked out or whatever, right? Palatial, looks crazy, it's fucked up. And then Earth House, it's like, what's the word? It's got a lot of concrete everywhere, all that other kind of stuff, right? But it's also very much associated with farm animals. It's very much associated with, again, we're bringing in this kind of kingly, queenly, witch kind of time period stuff. Again, lower social class, peasant class, serf class type people, you would think, right? That's, again, what we're associating with Earth, as opposed to the king himself, Delling, right? Which, of course, then you make your fun with the witches interacting with the peasants, and even the princess in this regard having some kind of say there. It's all very interesting, I think. Oh yeah, and Peel House is, like, fucked up. It looks like a Dead Space level. Don't get me near these people. And those fucking ladies scare me. I don't like them. I mean, to Jaturk House's credit, they did say the Guo was on thin ice, and then he did basically everything wrong and fucked up as much as possible. Considering the setup, I think the punishment is probably there, but again, should the punishment be there for, like, you're meant to be like one of us, why are we punishing you? Oh yeah, even here we say capitalism king. I like that as a designation. I like that. And yeah, definitely Soletta's got a little bit of, it's not even reverse harem, it's kind of just like a harem. It's a lot. Everybody seems to want a piece, which is fair enough. Some more clarity here as well around Elan number 4. So basically he had memories, they got erased. What we saw was kind of the remnants, the kind of little bits left over from that process, right? There is, however, one thing that our Elan number 4 has that's different from normal Elan, and that's a pair of earrings. So potentially that's something left over from before, in a way, which is cool. And again, you can get into your kind of fan theory stuff about what that means as well, and there's symbols on the kind of earrings that you could take in directions if you wanted to. Again, if you wanted to theorize about a dead character even more than we already have. And again, the tragedy is going to be when Soletta figures this all out, I think. That's when it's going to get a little bit sad, I think. Some more Elan stuff here as well. He was eventually consumed by not new magic, but the oldest magic of them all, humanity's first magic, fire. And in a way, like, what is a witch if not these characters that are associated with the Gundams, right? And what do we do to witches when we catch them and they're not behaving? We burn them, right? Like some of the framing last week, kind of putting Soletta on that pedestal in front of everybody, right? Basically putting her on trial in front of the entire community, in front of the entire town, right? Did that not feel like a witch trial as well? I think there's a lot of that coming into it, which is quite cool. So yeah, just in general, I think there's a lot of fun stuff going on under the hood with this whole metaphor situation. Again, a la something like a Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant. We will see if Gund technology will be man's next fire. Interesting one, of course. Maybe even a little bit of Prometheus there if you wanted to squint. Yeah, and this kind of stuff with Soletta, that's why I'm excusing a lot of her being very bumbly and stuttery and not socially confident and all that other kind of stuff, right? We kind of saw from Cradle Planet, that little story that I read before, she doesn't have... She didn't have anybody. She didn't have anybody her own age. I'm gonna, like, imagine she didn't have, like, any friends growing up. Besides Ariel. And again, that's a fucking robot, so, like... And Ariel's all well and good, but again, you're not really supplanting human connection with that, I don't think. So again, her interacting with these people, ticking things off her list, actually experiencing life for the first time, it's hitting all the right notes for me, right? And she seems like she's such a good sport about it. I don't know, it's touching my heart a little bit, I think. She definitely does have a little bit of Tanuki going on as well in her character design. Really do like it. And yeah, gets to, you know, make a little speech and be all cute about it as well. Seeing small Miorine's nice as well. Bloodborne Church aside, don't get me started on that. And yeah, Miorine coming through for her bridegroom, I guess we're calling them, in a clutch way, right? Putting that kind of business acumen to good use, using her family connections, not being as prideful as to reject them, but using them instead. Again, Prospera being broadly pretty proud of Miorine for doing that. For what reasons, it's unknown. I think it's more for Prospera's personal gain than Miorine's self-confidence. It does speak to a classic dilemma. Would you rather break free from the system, be unable to change it, or allow it to gain some hold on you and change it from within? Again, there's a little show called Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant that kind of goes into this as well in a pretty cool way. But yeah, I'm probably leaning towards the latter, as long as you keep that good head about yourself and when you go through it, right? Again, the curse of the Gundam, I believe that was Delling's little phrase there at the end. We'll see how this manifests as the show continues, right? If Miorine ends up changing and for the worst because of what happens, right? And yeah, this is our jumping off point. We'll kind of use that as kind of that piece of content that I do as well, right? The major lead-in is that Soletta is learning that Ariel is a Gundam for the first time. Again, everything that I know about Gundams is that they hurt people, right? And it's illegal. And why would Mum lie to me? And is Ariel truly safe? And all these other questions must truly come to mind. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see where we go from there. I don't have much else to say on the subject. Either way, that'll do for the YouTube comments. We'll dive in here with a little bit of a Patreon shout out, and then we'll just get started, shall we? So again, next episode's up there on Patreon already. If you click on the link in the description below, the next one will be up there. It'll be episodes 9 and 10. I swear to God, it will be. If you pay me just $6 a month, you can have access to that. Many people have access to that, such as Mickey Babbers, Trust Plus Plus, AJ, Bananarama Hamadamasama, Bobbin, Choba Ribby, Christopher Konechny, Dapper Dwarf, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Ferdinand Hernando, Flo Nightingale, Fried Rice, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Iga, Inzuchi, Yanko Yavanen, Jacob R, Joran, Kosogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Lasher840, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnik, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlad B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, SGM Janus, Skeleton, Warp V, Without a Net, Yuan Kai Shu, Yuki Ali, Zach, Akumensa, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, Funny Fat Guy, and Ice. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. Let's dive straight in here. We're going to have episode 8 of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, coming right up. Radio, episode 8. Up there, ready to go. 24 minutes and 8 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the Judas file set, so if you wanted that one, get that one. If not, picture-in-picture version in the description below, and I think all the subs should be pretty similar to official stuff anyway. So yeah, let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Robot. Also, I missed that first sub, but anyway. Indeed. They most certainly do. It was to protect her bridegroom. Mm-hmm. She kind of loves it, though. I like her gimmick of doing, like, fortune-telling. What is the... Why were you doing painting? Oh, you're being hired? Oh, that's the paint. Okay. At gunpoint. Jesus. I apologize for my wife. Yeah, we haven't figured out that part yet. I was about to say, well, we're not getting an opening. No, there we go. It's called Their Choice. So we're going to be diving into kind of the Earthians' choice here, if they want to collaborate with us or not. Convincing them, pitching to them, all that kind of stuff. Maybe. It seems like we're skipping straight out of the, where we were at the end of last episode. I thought maybe we would address that in a little bit more detail. Like there'd be a heart-to-heart between Soletta and her mother, but not quite. Maybe that's further down the line a little bit. We'll see. We must remember, it's Nika, right? I'm very bad with names. She's a cop. We must know this, right? Because Shadiq was talking to her like crazy last week. So keep that in mind. She may not be trustworthy. They also announced... Did they announce like a new Gundam game or something? Thought that could be worth a shot. Or maybe it'll be shit, I don't know. Are they normally good? Okay, take it up to the Spacians. Bimbo? Excuse you. My thing is, yeah, are they paying us? That's... Cursed. Oh my god. Talking in class is crazy. Come on now. A lot of senpais, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. How honest is Prospera gonna be? Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. I gave you evidence. Okay, no mass production. Convenient. Okay. Yeah, that's the line I was referring to before as well. Well, and more so. There's probably more there. Yes, Soletta. Why did you fucking lie to me? I thought you were trustworthy. Helmeted one. She's not really cursed, but that doesn't mean I'm... Yeah, I know about your arm. Okay. Okay. And flame is a theme again, and again there too. Okay. Okay, Jesus, calm down. Oh, Miorine. Okay. Yeah. Wasn't a great tone to that conversation. That's a great question. And you don't think about how that's weird. Oh, you're here. Creep? He seems fine, I don't know. She is gullible, for sure. Hey, Soletta, gullible's written on the ceiling. Okay, we've got to have results. No. Why would I do that? Wait, let's not do that. Okay, bye. What an odd thing to say. I think he is. I think he's got the hots for you. What? Oh, okay. He's an orphan. That's interesting. I like this guy. He's about the money. Get the paper. That's what it's about. Yeah, boring stuff. Yeah. I went to school for that. It was very boring. Correct. Can we talk with them, considering we're now like a co-developed thing? Oh, yeah, we're in trouble. We need money. Sounds very similar to the stuff at the very start of the show during the prologue. Getting money by selling them as well weapons, right? Well, we can't really do that. No, I'm being practical. You gotta float the IPO, guys. Come on now. Well, I'm a cop anyway, so... Well... Well, you've got a special tie to Earth as well, of course. Like High School Musical, come on now. Nobody starts singing. Look at this gang of freaks. Mm-hmm. Tough job. Okay, bye. Thanks, boss. Jesus, that was a screech. Ew. Okay, now he's getting, like, bullied. He just likes to camp. I don't know. Shadiq's very interesting. He's maneuvering right now. Yeah. Look at him moving different. Okay, you two. Okay. Every bone in my body wants to reference Utana. Sionji Torga type stuff, for sure. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, you're a hater. Fair enough. Kill all Gundams. That was a cool camera. Nice movement. And you disagree. Interesting. I remember. Okay. How will you learn more? Okay. Okay, so Belle's still in the show. I want to learn more. Correct? Yeah, but don't call me that. Well, I mean, it seems mostly benevolent, I think, right? Like, the goals were good. Look at this guy moving, slithering around. Mm-hmm. You. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take some of his money? Hmm. Yeah, so you like behind his back doing this shit? Interesting. Yes, you do. It's almost like we're coding business plans as like previous relationships or something as well. Interesting. Wait, Soletta was put on the video team? That's a terrible matchup. And she's like wearing a Discord shirt or something. I don't know what that is. She's just covering every base. Damn. Yes, I have. Weirdly enough. Indeed. Oh, hello. Been a long time since I've seen you. Mm-hmm. Guess you were too young. Kind of bridging the gap between Earthian and Spacian in a way, right? Exactly. That's something we can all get around. But how does this make money, chat room? It's all very idealistic. Do you just get people that want to invest in that as an idea? Okay, yeah, focus on medical technology. There's money to be made there too, for sure. Oh, she loves it. Bro's looking the wrong way. I think there's more to that story too. Because why would he be so much against medical technology like that? Also, what is this edit? Jesus. Look at the goat in the background. That was funny too. That's cute. I don't know if it's very professional, but it was something. Also, that's the Patreon logo. Like, you guys can't keep doing this. Great. We did it, everybody. We made a business. I would agree. It's the exact opposite, actually. It helps lives instead of ending them. What? Sounds like Mercury as well. That's nice. Pizza? Dude, I might order pizza tonight. You've convinced me. Look at these two, under the stars. I liked your little video. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, it kind of is too. Don't bark at me. You're loving it too. Come on now. What? This thing, the brakes don't work. What? What? Interesting. Who are all these freaks I've never seen before? So these people are all Grassly, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Battle will ensue. Bro, Shadiq thinks he's the fucking Eminence in Shadow or some shit. He has a fucking harem. What's going on? Anyway. Weird ending. It seems like they're gonna fucking legal the shit out of them. If not, I'll fight ya. Well, basically with the fights, right? I don't know why I sound like that. What am I doing? Basically with the fights, But you can say, hey, here's what I'm staking. You change that regulation, so that's the reason why we're gonna fight. And then the other side will be like, I want to seize your Gundam and be the holder and all that other kind of shit. So fight is upcoming with Shadiq. He's definitely got the most development this episode. You could kind of smell it, right? It's like a lot of things that kind of have this cyclical structure. Again, the aforementioned Utana. You can kind of tell who's going to fight in the episode because the episode's about them. Even something like a Danganronpa, you can kind of tell who's going to be involved in the next case because they suddenly get a lot of screen time. Like, it's not hard to figure that kind of stuff out. I'm interested. I want to see what's going to go on here. I feel like Prospera seemed pretty happy about it, but I don't know if everybody else is going to be happy about a fucking medical technology Gundam type shit. Anyway, Soletta's having a good time, and that's all that matters. Next week, please give me a word. Okay, seems romantic. Slumber party, or something. Sure. Yeah, now a little bit of analysis on episode 8 coming right up. So, episode 8. What did I think about episode 8? Largely enjoyable. I really, really liked my time here today. This felt like a necessary evil in a lot of ways. Yes, it's all great to go out and have these kind of dramatic presentations in front of everybody and make a lot of proclamations about what you want to do and so forth, but the actual logistics behind it, what our goals are going to be, who's going to be working on what, who owns what's the general idea of everything? Those are the things that need to be hashed out in the aftermath after such a reckless decision from Miorine. And again, that's kind of what this episode represents. What are we doing this for? Who are we doing this for? What's the pitch? What's our mission statement? All that other really boring businessy stuff. And yeah, by the very end, we land on kind of a legacy of Vanitas Institute type answer, right? Where we're going to take a lot of stuff that they wanted to represent from the past. Again, elevating humanity to be able to exist in space in a lot more ways, and also bridging the gap between Earthians and Spacians, which has largely been at the center of most of the conflicts in the show. I think even has a near and dear meaning to Miorine, if I'm reading the situation with the mother in the correct kind of way. Kind of in that way, uniting both and uniting a lot of the kind of problems, solving a lot of the problems in the rest of the show by proxy. And again, of course, Prospera's on board. She was one of the people that initially bought into all the stuff way back in the day, right? Belle's on board as well. Again, we don't want to be associated with this word of witch. We want something else instead. That's not really our goal here, you know, that kind of side of it. And again, kind of going through the episode, convincing the Earthian house and all these side characters that we're going to come to know and love to work for her, and what that means, and then working through their little problems in doing so, and whatever else. That was very enjoyable. I liked that part of it. Again, continuing to have these side characters in the show and fleshing them out more and more. I think Soletta hit the nail on the head when she said it was akin to a school club, something like that. So again, attach this into the great anime tradition of having like a school club type anime type thing. So, sure. Go for it. Looking forward, seems like Shadiq really wanted a piece of this thing, went to Miorine multiple times this episode and said, hey, sell me the thing. Hey, I noticed you're having trouble with this. Why not me? Again, he seems to be broadly pretty obsessed with this Gundam thing. And if that conversation at the end of the episode is to be believed, a lot of his goal in all of this is going to be... Yeah, weird harem aside, that's another thing entirely. But his goal in all of this is going to be to actually possess this Gundam technology and do something with it. He doesn't want to dispose of it like his father. He's interested. He thinks it's the next step, all that other kind of stuff. And his plan is essentially he's changed some of the school regulations to the point where this company can't exist, especially running from within the school and so forth. In that way, I think trapping Miorine and Soletta and that whole gang into a duel, I think that's what you want to do. You'll have some shit cooking where you can beat it for some reason or whatever, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to seize their technology through legislation and through kind of rules and regulations and that kind of stuff. Very scummy, very scummy. I think when we get deeper for Shadiq, he'll become a little bit more interesting. Again, seems to have an extended past with Miorine, potentially feeling some twinge of jealousy around the character of Soletta, and having that position next to Miorine, wanting for a world where potentially they could be together or something akin to that, willing to use people in that process, willing to move pieces and whatnot. We saw him slither over to Guel before. Where will that go? We'll say. Where has that gone in the past as well? Slither over to Miorine, ask her for some stuff. We saw him slithering around with Nika before as well. Wonder Watch for sure. And he's making his move. That's probably what we're going to be jumping into in the immediate aftermath of this episode come next week. But either way, let's go from the start here and we can, talk about what particularly interested us. What raised our eyebrows here in episode 8? First scene here, we're just kind of introducing all of the Earthian side characters. Again, at some point I will need to commit to learning names. That is not today, unfortunately. What game are they playing with cards as well? Because you've got like 2, 3... 5, 7, 8, 9. You're very close to something if we're playing that kind of game. I've got my Balatro mind ticking over here a little bit. Maybe it's something... you got like a pile here. Maybe it's something akin to like Go Fish or something. Anyway, more importantly, we're doing exposition. Oh, can you believe that Miorine did what she did in episode 7? Yeah, I can. I was there. In an ironic twist, Choo Choo says, who cares what she's doing? Again, Spacian, boo, we hate her. It has nothing to do with us. Lo and behold, Miorine walks in and says, hey, you've all been hired. You're all going to work with me on this thing. I've even been outside your room painting the logo, unbeknownst to you, which I'm pretty sure is a legal thing, but whatever. I just love how, sorry Soletta looks for this whole thing. She's like, oh my god, she's embarrassing me. I can't believe she's making you do all this kind of stuff. I really like that Miorine has a little bit more get up and go these past few episodes, I guess. She's been a little bit what's the word? Kind of too far away to put some heart into it. Kind of that prideful stuff coming through. I really feel like she's got her heart in it these last couple episodes, and I feel like I'm seeing the real her a little bit more. She's not quite as kind of walled up and closed off. She's opening up as time progresses. I like it. I will shoot you with paint if you don't join my company. Again, I have no choice. I must. And yeah, this kind of lead into the opening, right? Oh, what does your company even do, Miorine? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a drop from the kind of very grand entrance that she did. Like, oh, you don't even really? Okay. Again, like I said, this is the point of the episode. Finding out the nitty-gritty. What do we actually want to stand for? What are we even doing? Rather than just shit, things are going pear-shaped. I gotta do this to save my bridegroom, because if I don't, she'll fucking get kicked out. That's kind of the title as well, their choice. So there is everybody, the Earthian faction here. What will their choice be in joining the company or not joining the company? What will Miorine's choice be in regards to the propositions from Shadiq? What will Miorine's choice overall be with the kind of direction of the company and what we're even trying to do? Yeah, lots of choices here in this episode. Again, as I keep saying, I've got a broad theory that you're a little bit of a rat-type person. So I'm watching your dialogue very closely. You seem to be pretty okay with this idea if you get to be hands-on with Ariel and have a good look at her and that kind of stuff. Now, this could just be her mechanic side coming through. It is her passion. It is what she's kind of known for at school, all that other kind of stuff. Or do you want it for some other nefarious means that will only be revealed with more time? Again, we will see. Oh, this is pretty fun as well. We have this character here. He's only really interested in the money, and he's also the betting guy. So we have all the betting favorites here, and all the odds and all that kind of stuff, right? We must see here that Shadiq is currently the #1 betting favorite, despite Soletta being the current holder. So that's an interesting one. Again, Guel's dropped quite a bit. He was at #1 at some point. But the smart money from the field may be with this guy Jonas. Watch it. He might do something. You never know. So again, very early in the episode, just kind of panning around all these characters, getting their perspective. Do you want to do this thing? Why are we doing this thing? What their general questions may be. Again, there's money in it for us. That's good. But also there's ethical concerns. Again, there's been broad theories about Gundams and witches and destruction and death and curses and stuff, right? Superstitious stuff. Are we going to believe that stuff? Have we internalized it from a long way out? Can we overcome that stuff? What is it? Again, what is our purpose going to be? Is it going to be weapons? Lots of questions here being asked. Very smart move here from Miorine and Soletta very early. Go straight to the source. Hey, Prospera, what's the go with Gundams? What do you know? Why do you have one? Why did you develop one? What's going on, basically? And again, you give her the data, but here's the thing about data. Data can be forged as well. And even if it isn't forged, data it's in itself doesn't tell the entire story. Data is just data. Information's what we're after, you know? Give it proper context. And I don't think she's doing that at the moment. And it's scaring me a little bit. And half these lines seem like they're undercut with a lot of baggage from the past. So again, people trust these numbers over your words or mine. The same way that people trusted Delling's numbers in the past, instead of focusing on our words, our mission statement, or Vanitas back in the day. She can almost see history repeating itself. That whole time as well, those words from Delling kind of ringing in Miorine's head, right? This curse goes deeper than you think, right? You may seem to think it's like hunky-dory at the moment, but there's a lot going on here. A lot that I haven't told you, a lot that you'll discover with time. Again, there's a reason Delling did what he did. I don't think it's purely profit motivated like I was kind of theorizing in the past. Again, I think it's got more attachment to, like, I don't know, some other element of a genuine ethical concern. Go back to that prologue. Like, he seems really passionate about it is my point. So why does he think that way? Soletta then asks a very obvious question, kind of the lead-in from last week. Hey, if my Ariel is a Gundam, why didn't you tell me? And Gundams are dangerous. Why? How could you do this to me, mother? And Prospera's idea is to give you a hand in your trying time. Anyway, she takes off her arm and says, hey, does this look scary to you? No, it's just like normal. I've known that you've had this prosthetic arm for a long time, Mum. Her point being that this arm uses the same technology. And just for whatever reason Delling seemed to think, right, associating this technology when combined with Gundams and its effect on pilots was too much. It wasn't something that he wanted to happen, and that's the only reason why it's so kind of scared of these days. Like, why people are so scared of it. Like, people carry such a fear for it, you know? That's the only reason. So, again, just kind of like a reassurance to Soletta that everything's going to be okay. But again, like, some of it just doesn't feel like you're telling me the whole truth still. Like, I still an element of it that just feels like manipulation to me. I don't know. I think simply dismissing it as people being fearful of the unknown and scared and all that other kind of stuff is a little bit short-sighted. Again, I don't think Prospera knows all the story either. Loved watching Miorine's face here as well. And again, I love me some Soletta, right? But she's not overburdened with intelligence, and definitely isn't particularly skeptical when it comes to her own mother, which I guess is fair enough. She's the only person you've ever known, really, for a very long time. Of course you trust her implicitly. Again, Miorine doesn't really buy that as much. Hey, why didn't you ask, like, a very important question? Like, why don't you die? Why don't I die when it comes to Ariel? Kind of grilling her about it in the next scene as well. Why didn't you ask the question? But again, you have implicit confidence in Ariel as well. You're not scared of her at all, with any amount of, like, fear there, you know? Again, we've always been family. Why would she hurt me? All that other kind of stuff. Even closely associating Ariel with her own mother. Like, when Miorine in the dialogue there says, like, wait, have you ever been suspicious of Ariel? No, never. Same thing for Prospera. Have you ever been suspicious of her? No, never. Again, we'll see if that gets challenged in time. In walks Shadiq. This is the first of many opportunities in the episode where he tries to slide in to Miorine. That sounded odd, but you know what I mean. Like, he wants this bad. For whatever reason, we'll probably find out more context next week. And again, mirroring the previous scene, we have Soletta not seeing the enemy right in front of him, where Miorine is a lot more skeptical and cautious. Again, as I said, these are the kind of feelings that are associated with both these characters long-term in the show. Will your skepticism be rewarded? Will your earnestness be rewarded? We will see. And Soletta's just freaked out by the whole thing. Like, oh my god, he just basically walked in and then said we should marry. Isn't that crazy? You're, like, scandalized. A little bit of a blush here, a little bit of embarrassment that you may be hiding. Again, what makes characters interesting in fiction, at the base of it, there is a human want or need that is relatable. For Shadiq, I don't think it's all this kind of, I don't think it's status. I don't think it's this. I don't think it's that. I think it's you. I think he wants you more than anything else, and that's going to be where most of the conflict's coming from. Again, that's interesting to me. That's a point of difference for Shadiq versus the other characters in the show. Crucial context here as well is that he was an orphan, right? He didn't know his own parents. He came from the mud. He came from nothing. He's risen all the way to the top to be almost like the face of Grassley at this school. He's not gonna stop now. He's gonna keep maneuvering no matter what. It's all he's known his entire life. He's going to do whatever it takes. Either way, we're back here with the Earthian Freak Nation, and we have to find a mission statement for this company. And a lot of other things, establishing brand, marketing, a logo, like a nice little video to advertise as well. And then boring business stuff, amount of shares floating, kind of lots of wages, lots of stuff there, lots of stuff you need to figure out. But the mission statement is what is key here, right? What are we working for? The other thing here is money. How are we going to get money? It's all great that we have kind of that 240 billion or whatever to kind of start with, which again, in kind of like modern day terms, sounds insane. I got a small loan of $240 billion and started my business empire. Again, sounds absurd, but again, here it's very different. We can't even hope to start manufacturing. Again, based on Peel's numbers for this kind of stuff, it's pretty excessive. We don't have those kind of funds. The only idea then is to get more funding. How are we going to get more funding? Potentially weapons. We might have to sell these things as weapons. And again, people think that that's just the natural thing to do, to sell them as weapons. But again, we go through here. These people are mostly Earthians, right? They have a spotty history with the use of mobile suits as weapons in the past, right? And like a lot of them have family members or know people that are affected by war. We're mostly being coded as a peaceful faction. Again, we have like the farm animals and stuff as opposed to everybody else. It's just not really our vibe to be selling weapons like that. Now, again, the very obvious thing here is that we're reflecting kind of that combination of Vanidus and Ox Earth from the prologue. Right? Are we going to do something similar here with our acquisition and merger, right? Like, maybe. Do we have to go down that same path, or can we make money and remain true to Vanidus's early mission statement instead? And again, the Earthian-Spacian conflict, a lot of this thing would be selling weapons to not just Earthians as well, because that would limit our market. Therefore, we would be supplying weapons to our direct enemies. Sounds sucky. We literally saw in a kind of cutaway before, it was kind of like mobile suits literally firing on Earthian factory workers. So I don't want to do that. Why the fuck would I want to do that? You know? We decided the kind of flow of the conversation to direct that towards Miorine, right? Should we sell weapons, Miorine? And she's basically like, yeah, who the hell cares? And then Soletta's like, no, fucking think about it. We're all in this together, remember? Channeling that High School Musical type vibe. But again, she's been very closed off for a long time, right? Not really considering others' opinions, having a big chip on her shoulder, all that other kind of stuff. She's got to learn to compromise a little bit. And again, through the kind of course of the episode, she course corrects, I guess. Again, suddenly she feels a lot of responsibility on herself. We get the shot here, this kind of first-person shot where she looks kind of across the crowd here, and everybody's kind of focusing on her to make a decision here, and she goes into like boss mode. Okay, let's delegate. You do this, you do that, you do this, and I'll figure out what the fuck we're doing. How about that, right? We can at least start getting some work done. Giving Soletta the kind of role to make the PR video that get rid of Gundam's bad image. I don't know what you were smoking there. That was never going to result in like something good. Well, it was good. It was funny. It just wasn't, you know. Getting Choo Choo involved too? What about Choo Choo screams to you creative brilliance? Brilliant marketer. If anything, she should be put on like, I don't know, like a legal team or something. Like somebody really aggressive. That would fight for your rights, that kind of stuff. Saul Goodman herself over here. So everyone gets their little mission and then goes off their separate ways. After the ad break, we come back and we see Guel getting bullied. Again, he's kind of fair game now that he doesn't have the backing of his kind of very rich family. So again, they can kind of get their revenge. This guy was very big for his boots back in the day. Maybe, you know, they're coming home to roost a little bit. Again, I feel bad for the kid, but not super bad, I guess. He will have his time to shine. It's just who he's going to be working for when he does shine, I guess. Guel, in kind of contrast to Soletta, is smart enough to know when somebody's trying to manipulate him, so when Shadiq comes along, scares off the bullies, and says, "Come have a shower at my place," even ignoring the implication there, he says no. He's like, "Fuck that shit, you're trying to get in my good graces, right? And I won't do that to a coward who refused to duel me in the past." Either way, we leave him a, handkerchief, which is very gay too, and, says, "Hey, you should call me if you change your mind." Again, we'll see, this scene exists in the show for a reason. Will this come back? We'll have to see. This phone call now makes a lot of sense in retrospect. He quickly has a conversation with his father at Grassley. They're sending over some pretty good mobile suits, and they have anti-Gundam technology already kind of loaded into them, right? So if you were to fight Soletta in a duel, you would have somewhat of an advantage, right? However, Shadiq here says that he doesn't want to do it via a duel. Instead, he uses kind of regulations of the school a little bit later on. Either way, Dad also wants to eliminate all the Gundams, which Shadiq disagrees with. Dad, or not even Dad, adoptive dad? I don't even know how this shit works. Hey, you're too limited in your ideals, we should use this Gundam shit. Now again, after the meeting, we check in with Miorine again, and she's really concerned with the history of Gundams and why they even got banned in the first place. She's doing her research at the moment. She's doing her own research. And she's finding out what she needs to find out, I guess. In order to gain more knowledge here, she goes and she sees Belle, right? As we know, was closely associated with Elnora in the past, and that whole Vanitas Institute gang, so she would know some shit. We're also pretty much best buds now that their whole Gundam team is being transferred over to us, including Farak. Belle particularly takes umbrage with Miorine's use of the term witch. Don't call them witches. We're not witches. That's propaganda shit. And again, I want to get to the bottom of this shit, so please tell me your side of the story. I'm no witch, I was merely enthralled by their ideas and have simply been imitating what they did. So, at its core, I want to now learn what these ideals are, so instead of imitating them, I can live them, right? I can actually bring these to the fore. If it's something that you're that passionate about that you'll talk about it in this way, with that kind of amount of reverence, they must be something, right? As Miorine is learning this information, she gets another visit from Shadiq, who negs her a little bit. It's odd. And then basically says, "Hey, I now know the ideals behind gun technology as well. Dad told me. Hey, do you want to know that kind of information, that kind of side of it? Hey, we should work together. No, fuck off, Shadiq." That kind of stuff. Again, today I'm going to be groveling to you, Miorine, coming over to you early in the morning, of course. A little bit of a rendezvous, where again, join me and we can rule the galaxy together, that kind of stuff. I do like some of the framing here. Again, Shadiq getting all wide-eyed and nostalgic about the past days. Again, it's implied that Miorine and Shadiq had a project plan together way back in the day. Again, they used to attend those kind of conferences, those kind of schmoozy events that was kind of episode 7 type stuff. They used to go to those kind of things together. They used to be quite close. What happened, this kind of vibe to it. Again, just from this kind of stuff, it seems like he thinks very fondly of the idea, right? Which again makes me think that the motivation is a lot more emotional for you rather than business-based. Where Miorine is still sitting in the dark, hasn't quite had her eureka moment where she's figuring out why she's doing this, you know? I still haven't forgotten that day when we said we would work together. I believe we can bring about a better future than our fathers if we work together. And now we have the proprietary Gundam editing software, which we love to see. Even the kind of file extensions here and stuff too. Sure. This is very much my wheelhouse, as you know. Not that I am very good at editing at all, but it's kind of fun to see it in a kind of anime format. That's very cool. Either way, kind of as Miorine is stumbling a little bit, it's kind of reflected in the other characters. We're stumbling in the editing here a little bit. We're stumbling over here with some of the financial stuff. It doesn't seem like it's all coming together quite yet. Even some of us theorize that Miorine may have just ran away. She couldn't figure this out and she's just done. However, our hero reappears and she comes with an actual mission statement for the company. Very, very similar to a kind of mission statement of a character we've seen in the past. Again, first way to earn money. Sell weapons. pretty bad. We disagree with that on a fundamental level. The other way, let me introduce the alternative. Now, this was Dr. Cardo, I believe, something like that. And again, her general idea here is the Vanadis Institute side that we've seen, right? So again, we're going to use this gun to technology and what it represents to be the next step for humanity, right? To allow kind of that next step into space to eventuate through our technology, through its combination with mobile suits, all that other kind of stuff. We want to, same as utopian, right? We want to unite everybody and elevate everybody in this process. It seems like a really nice goal, right? So again, it's kind of that same stuff, like elevate Spacians and Earthians to that same level. In that same way, elevate all of humanity to that same level, right? We can overcome almost disabilities and that kind of stuff in getting us all up there as well. Like, again, seems broadly pretty noble. If we have the people together that we can do this kind of thing, it's definitely something that would, like, you should invest in it. It's going to be very profitable. If there's one industry that's very profitable, it's medicine. For better or for worse, we must supplement the fragility of the human body. And again, in a lot of shows, this kind of stuff is framed as a bad thing. Many pieces of cyberpunk media, in your head about this being poor, and I think I talked about that in the prologue as well. It's interesting that this is being framed as a purely good thing. I guess it's better than weapons. You've got to look at the, the better of the two options, I guess. So again, at any rate, you're uniting the people right in front of you, right? Because they're all Earthians. And they've been treated like shit by Spacians. If this gets us to that same level as them, if we even need to be, right? Based on prejudice or whatever, then that's a good thing. That's something we will want to work for. That's a business that we'll be happy to be employed by. Again, the exact framing here being using mobile suits to save lives instead of take them. I think that's a pretty noble cause. At the very least, she's on a very different path than that of her lousy father. So at least we can take that for granted. And now it's time for moment of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. This is their little promotional video. There's a little bit of Nico Dorga stuff going on, right? I think like these kind of effects on the screen and all that is meant to kind of imitate that side of it. Could be wrong there. But we essentially have this really cheesy song, propaganda-esque, you could say, a promotional video, some may say as well, whereby we're trying to convince everybody that this shit's safe. And again, the part I really like is the goat down here. If we follow him through, right, he kind of disappears into a green screen here at some point. Yeah, like kind of right there. Yeah, very, very good stuff. Love to see it. And also, again, the time of day changing and, like, the dancing not being quite synced up. You obviously being very nervous about the whole thing. It's cute. I like it. And that logo is just the Patreon logo. Put up the Patreon logo. At least the old one. It just looks like it, so sure. It's a good logo. I like it. And either way, Prospera's tickled pink at it. So, again, that's one person on site at least. And yeah, kind of that video signifies everybody coming together with their sides of the equation and the company's about to be established. Sounds good. Even Choo Choo here has a nice little emotional moment, a little anecdote here. In my hometown, there are lots of people who lost their arms and legs in mining accidents. If I can make money and be useful to my family, there's nothing better. So again, Choo Choo that's broadly been openly hostile to everybody, that's kind of her character. A little moment here of vulnerability is quite nice. And again, she is now aligned. We've aligned Choo Choo with our goals as well. That's half the fucking battle. Like, seriously. And again, we want to align everybody's ideals with everybody's, right? We're having a nice little pizza party and all that kind of stuff. Even Soletta's just happy about how things have gone as well. She feels like she's in a club. She feels like she's making friends, part of something bigger, ticking more things off her list. And again, as we look up to the stars, what is now in our destiny as we continue, even a little bit of a romantic tone to it as well, if you wanted to squint and see it. It's all just coming up Millhouse, I guess. It's looking good. However, there is a swift stop to our nice nighttime ride. It turns out that Shadiq has implemented a new regulation or found a legal loophole or something like that, to the point where our company is not going to be allowed to be established. So, lots of questions here. Shadiq, first and foremost, why do you have a harem? Why do you exclusively employ women under you to do your bidding, and all of them have like different weirdo anime personalities? What an odd thing to do. Anyway, more importantly, you've been moving behind the scenes. Again, Miorine's denied you twice. What are we going to do now if we want to take out this company? just make sure that they can't establish it at all, right? Force them into a corner. Again, if they don't incorporate, then that technology will secede back to the group, and then we can dispose of it as we wish, right? But again, Shaddiq doesn't want to dispose of it. He sees that as a wasted opportunity. There's clearly more content there with regards to him. So again, summarizing Shaddiq's plan, he's probably going to go over to Miorine one more time, say, hey, I can get you out of this bind if you let me be in control of the company, right? So again, let me come in peacefully, right? And again, being part of the company is also code for be together, I think. Even if not literally, then subtextually, I think. The other side of it being, hey, if you refuse me, then fuck, we're going into battle. This machine here looks pretty tough. I don't know what to tell you. It's probably going to be a bad time. Again, Shaddiq was number one in the rankings betting-wise, number one in the betting odds for battling, for dueling. So he's probably formidable. He seems to know a lot of shit. I wouldn't want to fight him. But again, that seems broadly where we're going. If I know the show, and I think I do, we're going to end up battling. So looking forward to that next week. Either way, bit of a short one here today, but what can you do? Happy to get it done. Happy to get something out there at least, I guess. Good episode. I really liked it. A necessary episode, as I said, establishment of a lot of things, a lot of intrigue there. Very much the setup to whatever we do with Shaddiq next week. So look forward to it. I very much look forward to it. Again, Patreon if you want to be that 1 week ahead. Like the video, subscribe. Please subscribe right now. Do it. And yeah, Discord if you want to talk to me about the show as well. But either way, I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Goodbye.